Some filmmakers move on from rejection, but Quentin Tarantino transforms it into myth. Famous for his sharp dialogue, obsessive attention to detail, and outsized personality, Tarantino doesn't merely make films, he fixates on them. When an actor declines a role or challenges his creative vision, it rarely fades from memory. Through artistic disagreements, mischances, or quiet disappointments, several major stars have found themselves subtly removed from his orbit. These stories expose the unseen fractures that altered creative partnerships, reshaped careers, and in one case nearly changed Django Unchained entirely. Will Smith was almost the Django audiences never met. The collaboration was positioned to be transformative, the type that reshapes legacies and reinvents genres. At its core was a tale of revenge, freedom, and a hardened rebirth. Django, a formerly enslaved man, embarks on a dangerous quest to save his wife from a merciless plantation system. When Tarantino imagined this character, only one actor fit the role in his mind: Will Smith. At that point in his career, Smith stood among Hollywood's most powerful stars. Celebrated for his charisma, confidence, and heroic screen presence, he was known for portraying characters guided by clear moral purpose. Tarantino, deliberate in his casting choices, is said to have shaped Django Unchained with Smith as the intended lead. This wasn't speculation or hope, it was a deliberate creative decision. Yet despite the chance to collaborate with one of cinema's most distinctive voices, Smith hesitated. He didn't immediately decline. Instead, he studied the script carefully, reflecting on its themes. What he encountered was not just stylized violence, but an emotionally punishing narrative where brutality defined nearly every step of Django's path. For Tarantino, that intensity was essential. The film was designed as a bold confrontation with racism, power, and vengeance. Smith, however, found himself conflicted. In a 2015 interview with The Hollywood Reporter, he explained his struggle, stating, "I just couldn't connect to violence being the answer. Love had to be the answer." His response wasn't confrontational, it was philosophical. Smith didn't want to portray a hero who prevailed by becoming an agent of destruction. He envisioned Django's story as one rooted in hope rather than fury. That difference revealed a fundamental divide. Tarantino had written a violent revenge epic, not a romance or moral fable. Django's evolution into a bounty hunter was meant to be physically and symbolically brutal, a reclaiming of power in a cruel world. The violence wasn't incidental, it defined the message. To Tarantino, changing that core would dismantle the film entirely. Their disagreement extended beyond tone to structure. Smith reportedly advocated for altering the ending, believing Django himself should kill the villain, Calvin Candy. In Tarantino's script, that moment belonged to Django's mentor, Dr. King Schultz, portrayed by Christoph Waltz. Smith felt the climax weakened Django's emotional journey. Tarantino disagreed. For him, Schultz's action, and the fallout from it, completed Django's transformation. The moment wasn't about who pulled the trigger, but about how that act forced Django to step fully into his own power. Altering it would unravel the story's architecture. Ultimately, these creative differences led Smith to exit the project. Jamie Foxx assumed the role, embracing the film's violence and intensity. His performance helped propel Django Unchained to massive success. The film earned more than $425 million worldwide and received 2 Academy Awards, Best Original Screenplay for Tarantino and Best Supporting Actor for Waltz. Foxx was widely praised, yet speculation persists. Would Smith's version have been gentler, more romantic, less divisive? No one can know, but his decision undeniably shaped the film's legacy. There was no public conflict, no harsh words exchanged. Still, those familiar with Tarantino's process suggest that when he writes roles specifically for actors, rejection cuts deeply. It signals a breakdown of creative alignment and trust. Once that connection is lost, Tarantino rarely revisits it. Since then, Smith and Tarantino have remained professionally separate. No future collaborations emerged. Smith stood by his principles, while Tarantino protected his vision. Their missed collaboration remains one of Hollywood's most fascinating what-ifs, a creative collision that permanently altered the course of Django Unchained. Jennifer Lawrence faced a different crossroads. Sometimes even the most prestigious offer demands refusal. When Tarantino doesn't often hear no, this particular rejection lingered, not publicly, but privately. While developing The Hateful Eight, Tarantino envisioned a tense, enclosed Western steeped in paranoia and simmering violence. Daisy Domergue was central to that vision, a dangerous, calculating outlaw capable of cruelty, deception, and endurance beneath relentless abuse. Tarantino believed Jennifer Lawrence embodied that volatile energy. At the time, her career was at its peak. She had won an Oscar for Silver Linings Playbook, dominated global box offices with The Hunger Games, and proven her range across genres. She wasn't just successful, she was respected. That reputation made her an ideal match for Tarantino's ambitions. Reports indicate he personally offered her the role. It wasn't filtered through studios or agents. It was direct. He saw a fearless unpredictability in her performances and wanted her to shape Daisy alongside him. Lawrence declined. Though she never publicly detailed her reasons, observers cite two major factors. First was timing. Lawrence was deeply committed to major franchises, with back-to-back filming schedules and promotional obligations that left little room for Tarantino's demanding production. The role itself may have also played a part. Daisy spends much of the film restrained, bloodied, abused, and plotting revenge. The performance required sustained physical and emotional endurance. Tarantino was unlikely to soften the character's brutality. Lawrence had never taken on a role so relentlessly bleak. Industry outlet Things later suggested she may have been uneasy with the extreme violence and moral darkness surrounding Daisy. Though unconfirmed, this aligns with Lawrence's broader career choices at the time, roles emphasizing complexity, resilience, and redemption. Daisy, by contrast, exists in moral chaos and endures constant on-screen punishment. Tarantino handled the refusal professionally, continuing to praise Lawrence publicly. Privately, however, her absence reshaped the film. Jennifer Jason Leigh ultimately took on the role, delivering a feral, unpredictable performance that earned her an Academy Award nomination. Her Daisy was raw and terrifying, a different interpretation, but a powerful one. Still, the question remains, what might the film have become had Lawrence said yes?